How y'all doing once again, man? It's your boy L Dog. Welcome back to Larry Reactions. Just want to talk about Knock at the Cabin. Now, first off, before I get into this review, I want to apologize because I said I was going to do a reaction, a review when I got home, but I was waiting on two of my homeboys to get there, and they got there a little later. So we actually went to see a later showing. So I got out of there pretty late last night. So that's why I'm doing it now. Like I said, as promised, I'm always gonna come through with that content. So let's get it. Uh, so Knock at the Cabin, brand new movie from M Night Shyamalan. Now, uh, M Night Shyamalan got some hits, but he got some misses too. The Happening stands out in my mind, but Knock at the Cabin, it was good. It was good. Um, Very interesting concept. Um, I thought there was gonna be like a big twist at the end, but it wasn't. It was pretty straightforward. And I know this movie gonna garner a lot of controversy simply because the protagonists are, a same sex couple, with an adopted daughter. Uh, but that's what this movie was really uh based around. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they were gay, they didn't. I mean, there was no kissing, there was no, physical love shown or nothing like that. I really liked the way that they handled this, and it was very well done and very well written. Um, all the actors, they did a phenomenal job. They did a great job. The standout was the the couple. They were definitely two. They were definitely two of the standouts. The character, I don't know the actor's name, but the character's name, it was Eric and Andrew, and then Batista. Batista has really stepped his game up. Like, he just looked like one of those typical muscle head. You know what I'm saying? Wrestlers want to be an actor. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? He really stepped his game up. He did a phenomenal job. He did a good job, bro. Shout out to Dave Bautista. So the whole premise of the movie is these four strangers, all of them had a vision about the apocalypse, and they they get to this cabin because they were showed in the vision that the people that are currently in this specific cabin, okay, they have to make a choice of which one of the three they're going to sacrifice among themselves to save the world, to stop the apocalypse from happening. Now, from the get go, this all seems like bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to be from a cult or something like that, or say escape from an asylum or some shit like that. But they were serious, and as the time marched on, when they broke into the house, broke into the cabin, and tied them up to chairs or whatever like that, their job was to convince them that they are telling the truth. That one of them they have to sacrifice one of themselves, and they have to choose. They have to make a choice of which one of them is going to be. Not the invaders, but Eric and Andrew have to choose out of them who's going to make the sacrifice to save the world. And every time that they said no, as the hours passed, one of the invaders would sacrifice one of themselves. That's where the shit got like really crazy. And every time Leonard, who that was Bautista's character, Leonard would tell them like, "Hey, every time we sacrifice one of ourselves, we'll unleash a plague among humanity." And every time they sacrifice one of themselves, they cut on the TV, and some global tragedy would just happen. The shit was crazy, but it was good. It was good. It was very well done and it was very well written. Uh, but like I said, going back to Eric and Andrew, Eric was more on the believer side for his religion, and Andrew always thought it was it's some kind of it's a logical explanation for everything. You know what I'm saying? More on the atheist side of things. And but like I said, the invaders, Leonard and Batista and them, their job was to convince them that, hey, this is real. We're not joking about this. This is real, and that's why they were willing to sacrifice themselves to make them realize that this is not bullshit. This is real. And I thought the whole premise of that was great. It was good, and a lot of people were looking for a big plot twist at the end. I ain't gonna lie, I was too, because that's M. Night Shyamalan. That's kind of like his directing style. It's always some kind of meaning or something like that. But there is one thing that griped me about this movie that had me puzzled, and they didn't explain why them. Why did one of them why that particular couple, why did they had to be the ones to make the choice? They didn't specify that. And that leaves a lot of open-ended questions. You know what I'm saying? And like, their love for each other was unconditional. And they loved their daughter, their adopted daughter. But my brother was telling me last night after we got out the theater, he was saying that he said the whole thing is that some religions, they frown on homosexuality, and that's what it was about. And I was like, and now that I'm thinking about it, what if that was it? But that's a ballsy move. If that's what it was about. I mean, if that was the meaning behind choosing them, that's a ballsy move for M. Night Shyamalan, especially in the day and time that we live in now. So, you know what I'm saying? But then I was thinking maybe it was just because of the unconditional love that they had for each other, and they had to be the one to make that tough decision to sacrifice one of themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, but here's one spoiler. So, give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Okay. So it turns out that the four strangers, that's quick. I know I wrote it down just in case I forgot. So Eric, like I said, Eric was more on the believer side, and then Andrew was more of the atheist kind of. You know what I'm saying? Always a logical explanation for everything. And when all four of the strangers, when they ended up sacrificing themselves, like I said, every time they sacrificed one of themselves, one of their visions came true, basically releasing a plague or some kind of tragedy, global tragedy. But Eric was telling Andrew, no, look what's happening. Basically, those four strangers were the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Leonard, he was a teacher. He was guidance. Sabrina was a nurse. She was healing. Adrian was a mother and a cook. She was nurturing. And Redmond, he always displayed hatred and anger. So he was malice. And those were the aspects of humanity. So that was the twist that at the end, that I expected. But all in all, it was pretty straightforward. Like I said, phenomenal job to all the actors. It was a good movie. Definitely go check it out. It's definitely worth going to see. But the perfect analogy for this movie, for them having to make a choice, Eric was like, it's got to be me. It should be me. And Andrew was like, no, it's all bullshit. I'm not sacrificing you. You know, I love you and blase, you know, and all that there. But when it come down to it, Eric was on the believing side, and he told him about them being like the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and all this shit happened. How can you explain it? And the perfect analogy for this movie is the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That was my take on it. But then again, that's got to be the hardest goddamn choice to make, especially in a world that frowns upon y'all's relationship. That's got to be a fucked up decision. But you know what I'm saying? That's the time we live in. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think, and if y'all want to go check it out. And make sure y'all like and subscribe. God bless the faith. Whoa.